today we're going to be working on our Boxes in Perspective worksheet. That is this sheet. It looks like this, rather. You can find it on the classroom stream if you need to do that. Otherwise, you should have picked up this packet along with a large sheet of paper from the school a week or two ago. Week of conferences, I believe. So first thing we want to do with any of these assignments is read the directions. Usually they're pretty coherent, sometimes they're not. So if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, boxes in perspective. Connect the corners of the boxes to the vanishing point. Step 1. Step 2, draw the sides of the boxes with horizontal and vertical lines. Okay. Step 3, erase the rest of the lines to the vanishing point. Makes mostly sense. I'm actually going to put a little step 1, step 2, step 3 over here because they're pretty much organized just like that. We can see that they've actually completed this first one for us, so we're going to take a close look at that, kind of examine how they did it. You can sort of, my printer's acting up again, so I'm going to try to darken this a little bit so you can kind of see what I see. Also, the ever-present smudge on my camera that I can't seem to get rid of. But hey, what are you going to do? All right, so something we can identify, first of all, and maybe it looks a little bit more clear on yours. But we have a vanishing point. We know that the horizon line goes directly through that vanishing point. So I'm going to draw one in. You do not have to do this because yours should already be there. So you don't have to do this. I'm just trying to, of course, there's a little dip in my ruler. Awesome. Anyway, there we go. There's my horizon line. Ta-da! It's a little crooked. That's okay. All right. So this box started out just like every other box that you see on this paper, in that it was totally flat. Now when we look at it, as we learned from the packet and as we learned from the YouTube video that we saw last week. All right, this line is bothering me. I gotta get rid of it. I'm sorry. I did that to you all. Okay. Now this box is no longer flat, or at least it looks no longer flat, because it is an illusion, and that illusion makes it look like it is three-dimensional, like it's a cube, like it's a shoebox almost, or a candy bar, or an ice cube, or whatever you want to call it, right? It no longer looks two-dimensional or flat like these other guys. It looks three-dimensional. And the way that they did that was step number 1. Still got people coming in. Step number 1 is you connect the corners of the box to the vanishing point. So we got corners. This is the box. This is the vanishing point. Let's see how that ruler lines up. So first one, top right corner. I'm going to line up one edge of my ruler with that corner. I'm going to line the other one up with the vanishing point. And guess what? That line falls directly on this line that they have already drawn. We're going to try that again with this next one. Line it up with the corner. Try to get my finger out of the way. And then line it up with the vanishing point, and voila. Same one, same line. I bet this one's going to match as well. Crazy. So when we're drawing things in perspective, it is super important to use straight lines. And that's good and bad. You can use a ruler. That's the good news. The bad news is if you wind up not using a ruler, it really doesn't look very professional. It ruins the illusion, right? The only way that you are going to do this successfully is if the illusion works. And part of that is using this vanishing point, and part of that is using kind of a ruler in the steps that we're going to follow here in a minute. So the other thing to look at, so once you draw these orthogonal lines, we're going to go to step number 2. Is you're going to draw the sides of the box with a horizontal and a vertical line. So we're going to start with this horizontal line. And what I usually do is I line up my ruler with that horizontal line over here at the bottom of the rectangle, right? It's right there. What I'm going to do is just move my ruler directly down. And then I'm going to put another line there so you can see just straight across. I would come in here with a pencil, just draw a line right there. And then, so that line is going from this outside orthogonal line to this inside orthogonal line, and then it stops, Then it takes a hard left turn and it comes straight up with this vertical line. So we know that this edge of the box that we're talking about is vertical because it's going straight up and down, right? Vertical is up and down, horizontal is straight across. Then you're just going to move this towards the vanishing point, straight across, and look at that. It's a perfectly vertical line, okay? So one thing, well, we'll get to it when we get to it, but just please notice that if this line is horizontal, right, this back line is going to be horizontal as well. If this front line is vertical, this back line is going to be vertical as well, with very, very few exceptions. A little V there for vertical. Guess I could put it right side up. Boom. Turtle. All right. So let's see how this actually works. Oh, after you do that, you have to erase these orthogonal lines, which they've done. On your worksheet, it should be a little bit clearer. These orthogonal lines that kind of create this funky triangle, you just erase them, right? On yours, they should be a broken dot or broken line, dotted line. There you go. And for us, we're just going to erase them. Okay, so let's try this out in practice and see how it goes. We're going to start with step 1 up here at the top. Step 1, connect the corners of the box to the vanishing point. Now, the vanishing point has not moved, but our lines are no longer going to be pointing this way, right? They're not going that way. They're coming into the vanishing point. All right, so let's go ahead and try that. So getting our ruler out, you can go ahead and put one end of your ruler on this corner, snug it up with your ruler, and then rotate your ruler until you get to that vanishing point. I've seen people do it this way. Now, using a light hand, you don't have to draw super dark. We're going to draw a line going all the way to that vanishing point. Just like that. Okay, I want a little beyond it. Okay, I'm overdoing it. I'm doing too much, as the kids say to me all the time. Next, we're going to find the next corner. And you can go ahead and put your pen on it, your pencil on it. You should be using a pencil, by the way, because we're going to erase. We're going to put our ruler on that corner, and then we're going to rotate over here to that vanishing point. Now that we have a direct line, a straight line between the vanishing point and the corner, we're going to go ahead and trace it nice and light using the pencil. Get a little bit more lead here. Last corner, same thing over here. We don't have to worry about this one. No one cares about that corner. That's the corner, no one invites out. But we are worried about these corners. Okay. All right, so again, putting down our pencil directly on that corner, pushing our ruler against it, and then slowly rotating until the ruler is touching both our pencil and that vanishing point. And we're going to go ahead and draw a line. All right, so you should have something like this. I'm going to give you all a minute. Please make your paper look like this paper. Go, gadget, draw. All right, getting right back into it. We are going to move on to step number 2. Second line down in our directions, that reads, draw the sides of the box with horizontal and vertical lines. All right, so we know that vertical lines come straight up and down. We know the horizontal lines come straight across. And our deal is we have to fit those in somewhere in this weird triangle shape that we have right here. Okay? However this makes sense to you, I support it. I'm going to show you how I think about it. If you want to do it a slightly different way, that is up to you as long as you get the same result. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler. It's a handy tool. I'm going to line up my ruler with this vertical edge. So you know what? We might as well just say this is vertical, right? This line is totally vertical. So what we're going to do is line up our ruler with that vertical line. Then we're going to drag it directly to the left, all right, towards the vanishing point. All right, and when we do that, we just keep moving it until you go a decent way far back. You don't have to go too far. There's maybe an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. in between these two lines, right? And then we're just going to draw a vertical line from this top orthogonal line down to the middle orthogonal line. So remember, just from one to the other, we don't have to go any further than that. All right, and notice that this line is vertical, this line is also vertical. It is not diagonal in any way. Right? It's not leaning one direction or the other. Right? It is straight up and down. It is the same direction as the edge of the paper. It is the same direction as both edges of the box. Okay, and that is important. People tend to mess up here, so make sure you do that. Straight vertically, it should look exactly like this. If it looks funny, erase it and try it again. Next up, we have our vertical line, right? But now, of course, we got to do our horizontal line. So we're going to turn our ruler horizontal. We can see that the bottom of this box is horizontal. Excuse me. And again, I'm talking through this a lot, right? I just want to make sure that everyone understands. If this comes naturally to you, you can blow past me for sure, but I just want to take some time and make sure that everyone understands. So these are horizontal lines. We've already labeled this guy with an H for horizontal. Now we're going to move our ruler down towards that vanishing point. Straight down. It's not going to curve at all. But as soon as we hit that vertical line right there where it crosses that, that middle orthogonal line. See this point right here? Right? Once we get there, we're going to stop because this vertical line has intersected with that orthogonal line. Now, we're going to come straight across and make another horizontal line and stop at our other orthogonal line. Okay? So again, double checking our work. This line is horizontal. Come straight across. This line is also horizontal. It's not crooked or diagonal in any way. It is perfectly level. It is perfectly horizontal. All right, so H, boom. So we got two vertical lines. We got two horizontal lines. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, last but not least, third step. So most of our work is done. I mean, this now looks like a three-dimensional object. All we have to do is get rid of all the orthogonal lines that we do not need. So the exact words are erase the rest of the lines to the vanishing point, which is poorly worded, but that's okay. So this cube is what we want to keep. Everything behind the cube, everything backwards in space, we want to erase. So for this, right, the vanishing point just gets erased, 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 and then you stop. Oops, I got it. Well, it was a little overzealous. Draw that back in. Again, anything behind the cube, you want to erase. Boom. And this is why we don't use super dark lines, because we're going to have to erase a lot of them eventually. And once you've done that, boom, you got yourself a nice little cube. Ta-da! All right, so we're just going to compare real quick. This is the original. We got two vertical lines. We got two vertical lines. We got two horizontal lines. We got two horizontal lines over here. They look like they're both part of the same illusion. And the reason is, the thing they have in common is this vanishing point.